Hello, welcome back to Monster Mythology. My name is Scott Howerson, and today we're going to talk about the greater golems as promised. Now, I did say we were going to talk about how to create golems, and we are, just not in-depth on how to create every golem in one video. We're going to go over the types of golems, and during each video that we go over, we're going to go over how to create those. Today we're talking about greater golems, which are the biggest and the baddest of the golems, and only the most powerful wizard can create them. And so, with that said, we are going to go ahead and start with the biggest and the baddest, and that would be the Iron Golem. The Iron Golem is going to be created by a wizard of 18th level. That's the minimum level you got to be to create one. It takes 4 months and 100,000 gold pieces. The gold pieces are for like the spell components and the other things used to create it. Now that's not including the magical sword that you need. 5,000 pounds of iron. The 100,000 gold pieces could possibly be included in that, depending on what kind of deal you can work out. And you need to be able to cast a certain number of spells. One is Wish, being the highest level spell, polymorph any object, Geas, and Cloud Kill. And I'll go over why you need to have Cloud Kill and Geas, polymorph obviously is to polymorph the object, Wish is to make it happen, Geas is to make it follow your orders, and Cloud Kill is because the Iron Golem has a gas attack. Yeah, sounds great. But anyway, so with that said, the Iron Golem is about 12 feet tall. He weighs around 5,000 pounds, hence the 5,000 pounds of iron. They're almost always built like they're wearing, like a humanoid's wearing a set of armor. They are, moves about a half the speed of a human, so they kind of trudge along, but every time they step, it's like thump, 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 thump. And sometimes they use a weapon. Sometimes it's a magic weapon, sometimes it's not. Most of the time they'll carry some kind of weapon though. Their strength is 24, which, you know, changes probably per edition. Right now we're going off 2nd edition because that right there was the best edition to get some gathering statistics, and there's a lot of information out there about the golem on that. You need a +3 better or weapon to hit him. Electricity slows it. Fire actually heals it, strangely enough, and is immune to the rest of the spells. It only attacks with simple command phrases, you know, like go here, go there. It's not a good servant. Like, they can't do complicated things like go to the fridge and get me a beer. It can't do that, right? It would go to the fridge and probably grab the fridge, stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway, so simple commands and phrases like guard this. That's simple. Somebody comes in the room, there's an iron statue standing there, you grab the book that it's guarding, and it comes alive and kills you. Pretty simple. So, that's how that goes. That's pretty simple. They're pretty simple-minded. They can do simple tasks, simple jobs. Okay, so on to the next golem. The next golem, which is one step under the iron, but is still a greater golem, is called the Stone Golem. That takes a wizard of 16th level or higher to create. It takes about 3 months and about 80,000 gold. And again, that's like spell components and just costs of everything. It takes the unique thing about this guy, you have to create him out of one solid block of stone. So you can't have parts just like a pile of stone. You have to create it out of one block. Again, it takes really high level spells. Wish, polymorph any object, Geas, and slow. And slow is because the Stone Golem can cast a slow spell to slow people down. Another thing that's kind of interesting about Stone Golems is they're almost always humanoid-ish, and they never have anything on. Like, they don't wear clothes, they don't wear armor, they don't carry weapons. They just don't. They're just big, gigantic, basically mostly naked statues. That's just how the Stone Golem works, and that's how it's always worked, and nobody knows why, but that's just how it is. Obviously, if you're doing a campaign, you can do it however you want, but according to the mythology, Stone Golems just don't. They attack with their fists always. They don't use weapons, and they don't wear clothing. No armor either. They get about 9.5 feet tall, So imagine that's pretty tall. They only weigh about 2,000 pounds, so obviously still fairly heavy. And it doesn't move as fast as a human, but it still moves. Its strength's 22. It takes a +2 better weapon to hit him. Again, older edition. Not sure about 5th or 3 or 5. But right now I'm working on 1st and 2nd. Rock to Mud slows the Golem. Mud to Rock heals the Golem. Simple. The rest of the spells basically don't do anything to him. Actually, a Stone to Flesh to Stone makes him vulnerable to other spells, but it does not actually turn him to flesh. It just makes him vulnerable to other spells. And he can cast Slow. Both of these Golems take Detailed Craftsman, and generally a wizard doesn't do that himself. He'll hire out. Part of the expense of making one is he'll hire like a master craftsman from a town or a keep or whatever, create him, and then probably off the guy because, well, you wouldn't want anybody to know that you just created a Golem to protect your stuff, would you? Anyhow, so Golems are awesome. They're one of my favorite creations, and basically that's the only way you get a Golem. They're created by a wizard, high level, sometimes a priest, but that's different types of Golems, and they're used to guard stuff, potentially wizard stuff that they don't want people meddling in. Anyhow, so yeah, that's it for my Golem. I hope you enjoyed this one. I know it's not as long a video as it normally would, but there's only 2 Golems in this section, and Iron Golems and Stone Golems. Welcome to the world of Golems. Anyway, my name's Scott. You call me Guff. Signing off.